Hello, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build video. I hope everyone's doing okay. I know that my schedule's been a little bit crazy lately, but welcome back if it's been a minute. I hope you're all doing well. I'm getting into this pastel goth build that I did like 2 months ago. And I did this as part of a stream on my fundraiser with the Trevor Project over on Twitch. And this was like something that took a while for me to get to because if you remember, The Sims had that glitch with the roofs and things. So there were a couple of weeks when I couldn't even like do the videos I wanted to do for you here, and it was because the roof glitch was happening and I didn't have the builds finished, and I didn't want to like necessarily show a build with the roof pieces all over the place and spliced up. So thankfully I'm able to finally start catching up on some of my content here, which is really exciting. But I did this as like a fun little challenge. I got a previous comment on one of my YouTube videos actually, and someone had suggested something that was talking about pastel goth, and I had never done something with that type of color palette before, and I was like, I'm up for the challenge. And I think the fun thing with this build, I love doing like Victorian and Gothic type styles of builds and such, but the thing that's really cool with this one is from the outside you can like see that it's mostly goth. I don't know what was going on with my camera just then. It was like blinking, so I was a little distracted by that. Hopefully we're good. Anyway, from the outside, it's just like a very gothic build, and I wanted some of the landscaping to bring in the pastel vibes. I just think that's really fun because from the outside, I didn't want it to be like, you know what you're getting into. It was more like a surprise when you walk in, like, oh, wow, like it looks so gothic from the outside, but then you come inside, it's like, oh, this is cute. So I was trying to do something in that capacity with it, but it was really fun to do some landscaping to bring in some colors. Now, the thing that's really cool with this as well is that whenever I was doing the color palette, what inspired me to do it was during my Pride month, I was like, of course, streaming every day for the Trevor Project fundraiser, and I came across the trigender pride flag, and I'll actually have it in a little bit on the video. You'll see it in the upper left-hand corner at one point, and it's like a nice combination of pink, purple, and green. And I will say on the normal flag, it's pretty saturated, but I took like a minty version from it. Oh, there it is right there. So it's pink, purple, green, and I tried to keep to the actual color aesthetic on the flag. So I use a lot of pink and purple, but just a little bit of green because we only have that one strip of green. So there's more of these like pastel pinks and purples in the build. And then I think too, one thing I really loved about this build was the unique floor plan. Right now it doesn't look that different, but I start using platforms a lot here in a little bit, and you'll see how I split the different sections up. But we have this nice like living space in this area where I have the half wall cut off, and then there's a walkway off the foyer space, and there's a book area over on the left. It's not really a library, but like a book nook area where you can go and read. And then the other side of this half wall, I'll actually lower down a pretty good bit and have a sunken in kitchen. And then that leads to an elevated dining space. So literally like every room just about is on a different floor, so to speak, in a different elevation. I thought that was really cool. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the style for the inside and the colors because we actually have a lot of different pinks and purples, and I was wanting to make sure that I went with something that was truly like a nice pastel color that wasn't like too light, but also I didn't want to go too saturated. So it took me a while. I don't even keep this striped wallpaper that you see. At least I don't think so. It's been 2 months. So I might surprise myself on what I end up doing because I literally don't remember very much about what I did with this build. But I like these little wall decor pieces that we have as well. And that was like a nice gothic touch, I thought, with the black. And it gave a little more detail and made it feel more Victorian, so to speak. And I like how the windows actually clipped into it. So I left it around the windows because it just looks like a windowsill embarrassment. Well, it might be an embarrassment, but an embellishment around the window space. And then I wanted to use this minty green sofa because, again, everything else is going to be mostly pinks and purples. I was like, maybe an accent would be really cool to have the couch be that pop of green that we get. So I spend a lot of time just trying to get this section of the house situated, and I promise it goes by a lot faster once I start getting the vibe. If you're new here, especially like if you're not used to seeing me over on Twitch when I'm building, I will spend a pretty decent amount of time on a new build just trying to figure out how I want the space to vibe, the flow of it all, and also just like getting the aesthetic. I don't particularly like to go into my builds having them so pre-planned, like it's a prescription, so to speak. I literally will go with, oh, I want to do a pastel goth build, and then I don't know at all what I'm going to end up doing. And I think it's fun that way because I also just feel like that's like a genuine way to show like my thought process whenever I'm going through things, and I'm like, oh wow, this doesn't work the way I want it to, or oh, this isn't going as well as I thought it was going to. And I just think it's a fun way to relate to you all because then you all get to see me like do it live and get to see my process. In some ways, I feel like people might get nervous about doing that or like be scared, and like I can understand where you're coming from because there are moments when I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Where people can watch me live, like not know what the heck I'm doing. But I think it's like a fun little challenge to do. Now, I was having this issue, and I know a lot of us have experienced this before, where you have the columns and you have the spandrel, and then you have that one piece that just won't go the way you want it to. And sometimes you can cheat it by placing a column that attaches and then deleting it, and it'll leave the spandrel there, or vice versa. It wasn't working here, so I ended up actually leaning into the error from the one side and did it purposefully on the other side. And I think it's because I have some freezes outside, which also I know like that's part of the reason why it didn't work over on the other side. But I wanted it to look like a doorway. So it's basically like a framed door, so to speak, but it's not actually a door. And it's not an archway per se. I mean, it is, but it's using a spandrel. You know what I'm trying to say. It's just like a fake archway. That's what I should have said from the start. But I actually put a railing on either side too, just to make it feel like a very enclosed, cozy space. And then I used this, I love this rug from Life and Death. It's one of my favorites. And I ended up like putting the purples in there with the wall on the rug as well. And then in this hall space, I put this little end table, used black and gold. This is from Royalty and Legacy. And I do like the furniture from Royalty and Legacy. I will say that I like it a bit more than I thought I would. I particularly like the One Dynasty that has like the African inspired furniture. That stuff is so pretty to me. I wish they had given us more. That's like the One Dynasty we got the least amount of furniture for, which is really annoying because it's I think it's the prettiest out of the three. But now I'm working on the kitchen here. So you're seeing this is a little bit sunken down. So we have a staircase on this side, and then on the other side, we have a staircase going up to the dining space. I love using platforms. I harp on this all the time. And if you're new here, you'll get used to it. You'll hear me say it all the time. But if you want to take your builds to the next level, platforms are the way to go. Like platforms can really make a space so dynamic and feel so different. Like if this build was all on one floor, like one elevation, it would not hit the same way. I don't know how to explain it. It's more stylized like this, and I think it matches a little bit more energy to Victorian era homes because don't get me wrong, I love Victorian homes. I think they're pretty, but they can definitely have a lot of weird quirks to them, especially with the floor plan and the layout of the space where like you'll see oftentimes adjoining bedrooms. Like you have to walk through a bedroom to get to another bedroom. Like there's just some really weird stuff, and I think floor plans kind of lean into that a good bit. So when Snowy Escape came out, I remember being excited about that because of the platforms and how that functionality was going to work with builds in particular. And so you can see over here, like you can see, like I wasn't initially planning on the dining space actually being there like that. I was hoping to have the dining space in the corner on the same level as the kitchen, but it wasn't enough space. So I actually end up going back into the platform space and extending it over. That way it goes across the entirety there. And then I put the table by the windows in that corner. And then I'm putting some uppers. I don't leave these blue. I promise. I know I would not do that. I know myself well enough. That's not even on the color palette that I'm trying to go for. I make them pink or purple or green. It has to be. Okay, it's purple. I went with purple. I definitely went with purple. Yep. I saw the pink. I was like, I wouldn't do that either. But the flooring has it's pink, but has a little bit of the light purple in with it, and I was like, that complements really well. So that's why I did purple uppers. I really wish we had some like fun colored cabinets with these Realm of Magic ones. They just don't though, and I was like, what a missed opportunity with Realm of Magic, because that would have been one pack to put some like really fun colors with the swatches on things. And don't get me wrong, we do get a few, but I think they could have done more with that. And then I ended up getting the Tea Time Solarium little table and putting that over here as the dining table with the chairs, and that had like a really perfect like minty green swatch that I was going for. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to match the colors of the trigender pride flag. I'm taking the inspo of the color palette and doing a pastel version of it. So I'm not wanting any saturated colors. Now, I had a lot of fun, time with this space up here, and I made like a little paint nook area, and then I put some chairs for seating. I put a piano up here. So it's got a few activities and fun things for your sim to do if you ever wanted to download this off the gallery. I love the way this space came together, and I actually have 2 bedrooms. This is a 2-bedroom house. So if you have a kid, by all means, move them in here. I love, love, love. I remember loving the kids' bedroom in this house. I think that ended up being my favorite one. It's this bedroom on the right side where my head currently is on that door. So that, be on the lookout for that. That was one of my favorite spaces to do. And I love the art studio kit little shelf thing here with the clutter on it. And I like putting a couple of plants and like some other fun clutter. And then this rug was perfect for the minty green with the pink flowers. And I thought that was really cute. So I wanted to incorporate that as well. I think that's from high school years. I'm struggling to remember things right now, but I think that's what that's from. And then I put like a big plant in that corner because anytime I have the chance to fill in a big blank space or a corner space, I always try to use one of the big plants because I don't get to use them very often because they clip into the walls so much. Now, I was excited at first to use this ghosty print, but then I forgot about this ghosty print, and it had some really nice pastel colors to it. I thought this is absolutely perfect. So I really wish I could remember what I did in here. I just remember I really liked this space. Well, this is one of my favorite like kids wallpapers in the game by far, and I've only used it a handful of times. But I ended up doing like this fun sparkle looking wallpaper. It makes me think of glitter whenever I see it, so that's why I call it sparkles. And that is where like I start going down the path that I want to go. I think sometimes with rooms when I don't know how I want to get started, I've talked about this before too. I'll try to find a rug, a bed, or figure out the wallpaper. Those are like a few of the big things that if you can get those figured out, the rest of it starts coming together. So if you're ever struggling with like where to start, find a wallpaper you really like. It can inspire you. Find a bed that you really want to use and then pull the colors from the bed. And that's like a really fun way to do it. And the same thing with a rug, because rugs are pretty big. It's a standard thing that I put in my bedrooms. I know everyone's not the same way though. So if you don't use rugs super often, that doesn't make sense to do it that way. But I always put a rug in my bedrooms almost every time because I like to layer rugs as well. So if I have a rug, I'm like, oh, I really want to use this. And that happens because I like using things that I don't normally use. And I try to push myself to use new things. So whenever I see a swatch of a rug, for instance, I'm like, I've never used this before. I'm going to use this in another build. And then I will remember that. And then whenever I get to that build, I'll like pull that rug out and I'm like, that's what I want to use. So I don't know. Not that you're asking for tips here, but I always like to try to incorporate some tips with how I think through things because, you never know who's watching. You could be a new simmer. If you are, welcome in. It's a sucky time to come into the Sims community, I think, with everything that's been going on with EA and all of that being finalized just this past week. But I still accept you here. I love this game. I grew up with this game. And I'm going to continue playing this game because it brings me a lot of joy, and EA is not going to take that away from me. So hopefully, EA won't even be over The Sims in the future. I would love for another developer to just take The Sims away from EA. Please, please, please. But I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because then I'm just going to start getting mad and agitated. So I'll leave it at that. But welcome if you're new here, or if you're new to playing Sims. I'd love to know, like, what do you like to do? What do you gravitate toward? I grew up playing from Sims 1 on, and then when Sims 3 came out, I played it for a pretty long time, a fair amount of time, and then I put it down because I got really into school and like my studies, and I got other activities that took up a lot of my time with my music and everything. I'm a musician if you're new here too. I play clarinet and piano and a little bit of saxophone. But I came back to Sims 4 during COVID when the pandemic hit, and I like got into it and sucked into building. I absolutely love building more than anything else. I would like to try a legacy challenge eventually, and maybe I can make that a series eventually on here. if I do, maybe I could do it for like members. I don't know how I want to think through that right now or how I would do that, but I love building so much that I feel like I would make legacy series on my YouTube channel as like bonus content or something, because I feel like a lot of y'all like building because that's why you subbed in the first place. So I don't know. I don't want to go off the cusp too much with that, but maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. Let me know if y'all have opinions on that. I'm open to it, but I still want to do building mostly. And since I already have limited time to do this, I don't want to take away more time from building. So just letting y'all know, thinking out loud right now, that's what I'm feeling like. I'm working on the primary bedroom there, or I was. I yapped through the whole thing, but that was the primary bedroom, very small. It's a very small bedroom space, but I like it. It's cozy, it's fun to organize. And now we're getting into what I call the clutter phase. And that's because whenever I build, I've been kind of getting out of it lately, though, I will say, because this is 2 months old. But usually I like to lay out the space and get the big pieces of furniture and like the main things figured out across the entire house and fill in all the rooms. And then I go back and start cluttering up each room. So that's why usually in my speed build videos, you'll see me go through the whole house and then we start back where we started. And then we're putting like all the little objects and things through. I love this bowl, by the way, because it's a nice purple color. But I have been getting away from that a bit more. I don't know if that's going to be permanent or not, but I've gotten to where I actually just like doing each room in its entirety before I go. And then it's not like I don't come back to add more items, or if I see something, oh, it would look really good in this room. I still do that, but I have been on a kick lately where I really just focus in on one room at a time now. And I think in some ways I like that, in other ways I don't. And the reason why, not that y'all asked for, my opinion or why I think through things the way I do whenever I'm building. I think the reason why I like going through the whole house is so it's cohesive, because I don't want to like get so hung up on something in one room and really use it. And then I get to another room and then I can't find anything that kind of matches. Not that it all has to match, but I don't want to do like one particular style. It's not like I would do like a Gothic room and then have a boho room, in the house or something. Granted, that could be very real life. You could have a kid who's really into Gothic and have a kid's like Gothic bedroom and the rest of the house isn't Gothic. That's not what I'm saying, but y'all know what I mean. Whenever we're building in The Sims, we like to make the clothes basket match our art decor downstairs. It's just like we like to match things that in real life we would never care about matching. And that's just the way it is, because you see everything all at once from a top down view and it just looks really cool that everything kind of is in sync with one another. And so it's really nice to, do that where you go through the whole house and you have the whole vibe figured out room to room. Whereas if you were to just do one room at a time, it's kind of like, oh, I really wanted to use this, but now it doesn't match the rest of the house. So I can't. But that's just my brain and how I think about things. Now, it was a pain to clutter up this little window in the Bay Area because you can't slot things to it. So you actually have to go from outside the house to raise them up into it. You can't actually just raise it up and like scoot it over into it because there's like a fake, see-through wall there. So it's always tricky to do that, but I think it pays off because it looks so cool whenever you clutter it up with like pictures or books or something like that. And I really wanted this to be like a book space. Now, I've done this before too, where you can turn this floor lamp from the Alice in Wonderland kit and actually size it down, make it look like a table lamp. And it works really well, particularly with coffee tables that you can't really see through the bottom of, or like, you know what I'm saying. So I love doing that. And we had this minty green swatch, which was perfect for it. So I was like, I'm definitely going to use that. And it had the stripe too. It's striped. If you remember, we just had the one green stripe in the pride flag. So that's what I ended up doing in there. Again, I wanted every room to try to have some accents of green, but purple and pink were supposed to be like more prominent. And then obviously black. Black is our neutral color literally in the entire build because it's Gothic energy, Not that Gothic actually has to be black. I think it's a misconception that Gothic automatically means black. Also, Gothic is an architectural style, so it doesn't even have to be black at all, if you think about it from a style perspective. But I don't know why I go on these tangents. I really think over the past couple of years, since I've had so much instability from not having a job, I still don't have a job, by the way. I'm incredibly stressed out right now. I've been studying for a PMP exam, and I'm taking that right now as of recording a week and a day. So today's Sunday. I take it a week from tomorrow, next Monday. And I think I'm going to crush it. I think I'm going to do fine. I'm going to at least pass it. I don't know if I'll get high pass, but I think I'm going to at least hit targets. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm doing that just so I can help like it can help me stand out whenever I'm putting my resume through that I have a PMP. If you're not familiar with that stands for, it's a project management professional. And so I might be looking more at project management roles. I don't know. Either way, I just think it's a good credential to have. It is very expensive to do though. So, probably not the best thing for me to do, but I was thinking more long term. I was like, if I can go ahead and put down the money that I already don't have and get that, maybe it'll help me get a job a little bit faster. So we'll see if that works or not. I'm not confident it will, but it'll at least, if it's between me and another candidate and they think on paper we're like the same, but then they're like, oh, he has a PMP, so he can actually handle multiple projects and he knows how to organize them and think through them and everything, then maybe that would give me a little bit of an edge in the job market. So I'm trying my best to do that, but it has been incredibly stressful to do that and apply to jobs and struggle with everything else because I'm literally just using my credit card for everything right now. And it's getting bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting real bad. And so my content has gone a little bit, down on the priority list right now. So if y'all have been wondering why, I'm still putting videos up weekly, it's just very sporadic. I was doing pretty well with like at least posting like I think it was like every Wednesday, Thursday, or maybe Thursday, Friday. I don't remember, but it was consistently at least on, one of the 2 days every week. And that's just kind of gone on the wayside. So thank you for sticking with me with my brain and everything that's been going on. But back to what I was trying to say like 3 minutes ago, I'm surprised I remembered to come back to this. But I think because of all of this instability the past couple of years, I definitely feel like I have a lot more ADHD tendencies now. And maybe some of y'all have been watching my videos and like, yeah, you definitely seem like you have ADHD. I have been tested for it and I got a negative on it. Like they were like, no, you kind of have ADD tendencies, which now that's not even really a thing. But back when I got tested, it was. And they were like, it's really not ADD though, because it's more from your depression and anxiety. And it's kind of like, well, your anxiety is still stemming from your depression. So everything's coming from the fact that I have depression is the root cause of everything. Because I did get diagnosed with depression years ago. I don't have the money to go to therapy though, so it's not been treated at all. But I'm here. I'm trying my best. I'm surviving from day to day, and I'm thankful to have you all here with me on this journey. And I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna take time, but I will say it's been really difficult for me. And I don't like to come on these videos and always like be so negative lately because I feel like I've just not had a lot of great news to share with you all. But at the same time, I just feel like I need to be honest though too, because life has ups and downs, and sometimes those ups last really long. Sometimes the downs last a lot longer than you want them to. And right now I've just been a prolonged down. So it's hard for me to like come on these videos and be all like happy and upbeat and stuff and acting like nothing horrible's going on in my life. And I just want to say that if this has become a space where you feel like I'm just kind of always negative in my videos lately, I'm really sorry. It's just that's just how my life has been lately. And I just want to be honest with y'all. I don't like coming on here and pretending to just be happy all the time whenever I have a lot of crap going on in my life, quite frankly. Mia had surgery last month, and so that was a huge expense that I wasn't expecting. That added a lot more stress. We're still trying to figure out, how to manage that because she had bladder stones for a second time. She had them 2 years ago, and this time they were different types of stones. So it's like we overcorrected from the other type of stone, and I think that's why she developed these, because it changes the pH level in her bladder. Very interesting to think about. But I got pH strips, and I think I'm going to be testing her urine. Something I bet you didn't think you'd hear in a speed build video. But she's okay though. Like, we're trying a new diet, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm gonna test her urine with these pH strips that I have on her current diet and compare it to her other diet that we'll end up getting and seeing how that goes, because different stones end up developing in different environments in your bladder. So it's true for people too. But that's just another stressor that I'm going through right now, which doesn't sound like a big stressor, but that dog is literally my life. And like, it scares me at the thought of something happening to her. So, as silly as it sounds, I'm going to be testing my dog's pee just to see like what her pH levels are. I'm trying to like figure out something that will last long term so she does not have to continuously go through surgeries. One, because that's just awful for her to have to deal with, and two, I just don't have the money to do that. So that'll be an interesting development as well. But I'm really oversharing today. I don't know why. I'm feeling very vulnerable with y'all. But thanks for listening. If you've made it this far in the video, type a comment down that says P, and then I'll know what you mean. And then other people will see that and be like, what the heck is going on? Why are people commenting P or PP in the chat? I'd love to see all your P's. But now we're getting into the clutter of this room upstairs, and I think you can start to really see the space come alive. I will say I love the kits that are like super focused on a particular activity or skill, because then you can like go all in and have a dedicated space that really looks like it's this person's really into that skill, you know? So I put a lot of the art stuff over in the other corner you can't see right now, but you saw it a minute ago. I love that little Dusty Trinkets item, by the way, with the little bear in the basket. I think that's super cute. And then I put a pride flag just because it was inspired by a pride flag. I don't have the trigender one in the game. You know, there are so many pride flags. When you really start looking, there are dozens and dozens and dozens. I still have to Google what some of them mean to this day, and I've looked at a lot of them. But it's just kind of interesting to learn, you know. So I don't know. I find a lot of interest in that. I put some of the board games up here on the piano. Oh man, excuse me. Okay, well, it's not like y'all really heard anything, but excuse me either way. I don't know what this video is turning into. I should probably edit that out, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like editing anything. So this is the raw footage. Y'all are getting the raw me today. Yeah, I didn't think that one through either. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I'm divulging from everything right now, but I'm just putting some nice wall decor up here. I want to get to the bedroom. Get to the bedroom, Matthew. Oh my God, why am I taking so much time? I have to put something on the wall here because it looks too barren. So, you know, I'm going to take like probably 10 minutes to find something. Okay, I put those little plants. I think that is what I stuck with. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah, I did put it in that bedroom. I told you it's been a couple of months, so I don't remember at all. Oh, I did. Yeah, yeah. I did remember putting that. I stuck with that too. I didn't change it. And then I add some windows up here over the piano. I thought that was cute. Just add a little more, you know, daylight, and just thinking we paint in here, and we had the stained glass window by the easel, but that's like coming from this direction. I was like, it'd be nice to have some, you know, natural light coming up from behind us. Now we're getting into my favorite part of the build. And there are so many cute things. I have gotten to where I really love doing kids' bedrooms because there's so many fun items. Kids' bedrooms are ones where you can like do some really weird things, but it makes sense because it's a kid's bedroom. Not that you have to build, you know, for realism in the sense of your primary bedrooms can't be super fun or eclectic or anything like that. But I really like pushing the limits sometimes in my kids' bedrooms. And I don't think this is a bedroom where I like push the limits so much, but it's just fun to use a lot of the clutter we get in this game because we have some decent stuff for kids. And I really love it. I think it's nice. And, you know, I do think we need more stuff, like more activities. I would love to have some new skills in this game as well. Are they going to do that at this point? Probably not. I think they're getting ready to like sunset this game until an eventual new generation or an eventual huge update comes out where they really change a lot of the UI because we need it. I would love to see some UI changes, especially with the catalog and how it's organized. It's so difficult to find things sometimes. Things are tagged incorrectly all the time. I see things that aren't tagged correctly with color or with style, or things just don't, you know, whenever you put a filter in, they just disappear from the catalog. That's happened so many times, and they've had updates where it's like, this item wouldn't show up whenever you filtered by this. I'm like, oh, I've never seen that item entirely. I think there have been items from DLC as well that just never actually were in the game, but were supposed to be. And I'm just like, how does that even happen? So it's just, you never know. You just don't, you never know with this game. But I love this game. I really do. I don't think this game is going to like go away for me. I love Paralives, don't get me wrong, and I know it's still early access. I love a lot of the capabilities with that game though. It is really, really great for early access in my opinion, and that's just comparing it to capabilities in this game that we still don't have, you know, 12 years later, also just like 26 years later as a franchise, and it's crazy to me. And I think there are things in Paralives that I really appreciate, but then there are still things in Sims that I like better than Paralives. One thing that I have noticed that's really hard for me is like whenever I'm playing Paralives, talk about wanting things to match. The fact you have the color wheel, I will spend so much longer on a build just because like I want to play with the colors and like do different things with that. And I've had to like learn to let some of that go. You know, every time I use orange in a house, it doesn't need to be the same shade of orange. It's okay to have varying shades of orange. I think it's fine. So I think it's just like kind of funny how detailed you can get with things. I absolutely love that you can upload pictures though. That's one of my favorite things to do, and it can really change things. So you have limitless options for wall decor and such. But there are things about The Sims that I appreciate right now more so than Paralyzed, with like the objects and things that we can put in builds. And I know that's because they've been around a lot longer. Paralyzed will eventually, if as long as things go well, will catch up and we'll have a lot more content in it. But I like the whimsy aspect of Sims, and I just don't think any other simulation game has really gotten to that point where I feel like a lot of other games that were supposed to rival Sims are just too realistic. And I think why I like Sims is because it's whimsy and they have quirky things, they have weird things that you wouldn't see in real life. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive when you think about it, with like having a simulation game, but liking the things that aren't something you would see in real life. But that's what I am excited about with Paralyzed, though, because they seem to also have some quirky things starting off. And so I think they're going to go in that direction where they're not going to take it so seriously and like have it be super realistic. I love the art style. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but there are things I like about that art style over the one in The Sims and vice versa. I don't think I'm playing either as a replacement, if that makes sense. I don't know why I went down that tangent, but you could see that bedroom was looking super cute. Now we're working on the landscaping outside. Like I said, I still wanted purples and pinks outside. Obviously, like literally everything's green, so that didn't really make sense to focus on like a minty green for plants. But I wanted the exterior to be super black gothic for the house, but then the landscaping lighten it up a little bit and make it more playful. So it's interesting to go through. One thing I'll do is like I'll try to pull a couple of different bush options. I'll try to pull a flower or two. And I also try to look at things that are like based on different sizes as well. And that helps determine like what I want to use. And then obviously matching like the colors. So, pinks, purples, bluish colors, whites is what I was going for outside. And then I try to find some like plain green. I always do this with my landscaping. I like to find some type of plants like that are just green. I don't think everything needs to be a flower. And so I like to balance a little bit. And I think that makes it feel a little more realistic too. But I did go ham on some pink florals, and I think that makes it look really cute and unexpected for this type of build, because you're looking from the outside, and I think it makes it exciting to see like, okay, where is this going? Like, it's fun and playful with the landscaping with the pinks and stuff. Like, what are we about to walk into? And I put this tea time solarium fountain, which I absolutely love as well. And we had a minty green for that, so that was my green for the exterior. So I don't have much left for the outside here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the game and show y'all what it looks like. So this is the house from the exterior. I really love the way this turned out. I built it in Windenburg, by the way. I don't think I said that anywhere in the video, but this is the exterior. I'll pan around a little bit, have a little bench over here. And then I've put some fun activities outside too. So we have this like habitat, we have the bees, we have the insects, we have like a little table over here where you could do some plants or do some apothecary stuff, even have the planter boxes out back right here, a little bird bath with our gnome. The back porch space, we have our grill and table down here, a little flower arranging table. We have the chess table, got our minty green with that, and then our trash cans. I did not forget trash cans. I don't think I forgot a mailbox. I think it's up here. Yeah, it's up here by the door. So our mailbox is right there. But I think this is really cute. And then at nighttime, you can see it's pretty well lit with the landscaping. So I love the exterior of this house though. I like the vines over here on the side as well. And the stained glass window is really pretty with how the light catches in that. So as we head in to the right, we have our little table here. We can put our keys or phone, whatever. Not that we leave our phone. Who leaves their phone on the table? I mean, some of y'all might. I might judge you a little bit for it, but it's a good habit. It's not a bad judgment. It's a judgment that you can do that and I can't. And then over here is our book area. So I love this room. I think this is really cute. I like the curtains from Paranormal. I think those like really tie it in a pretty good bit. And I love that we have like our tea, our little like cupcakes, our little treats over here. But just kind of panning around so you can get an idea. Then you come up on this platform. I did put cats in here, or the idea of having a cat at least. So we got our little living room space over here. I have to fix this because for whatever reason, it somehow got broken. But I put these on this back half wall. It's like a little divider, but I sized it down. But this is our living room space. And then back here, I put knitting. I think this house, especially for the size of it, don't get me wrong, it's a pretty big house. But there are a lot of activities and things to do in this house. But we have more books over here. You can get in the rocking chair so you can knit or read. And then come back down right here. We have a bathroom space off of this. I left that out of the speed build portion, but we have a little half bath. And then we have a full bathroom upstairs. So you didn't see those in the speed build. Cute little half bath though. Very simple. And then you come down into our kitchen space here. We have the pink appliances with the purple uppers. I love this. I think it's really cute. I like the idea of having this in a house. I just think it's fun. I love doing weird stuff like this in my builds. And again, this is where I'm coming from with like The Sims. But the thing with The Sims that's nice, again, controversial take maybe. The thing with the color wheel is that you can do things that make sense. In Sims, it kind of inspires me to do combinations of things I otherwise wouldn't think to do. Like if I had total control of colors, I don't think I would ever do most of the builds that I've done, you know, because I like doing some fun color combinations. That's one thing that I think is fun about The Sims is it kind of makes you have to do some weird things sometimes. But have our little doorway to the back porch here, and then off of that, have a nice little table, some stuff. We have our cat tree, our dining spaces over here. And I think that's everything on this main floor. So we actually have to go back up into the living space to get to the staircase. So as we come up and around our staircase here, this is our little activity area. So you have our easel, painting, all of that's over here. Then you could do some reading. What has happened? Okay, why is my build all borked right now? Like, what happened here? I haven't been in this build since I did it, so it's kind of interesting to see that some weird stuff has occurred. Hello? I don't know what's going on right now. I had the dusty trinkets here. Okay, I think I fixed everything. I think it's because when the roof glitch happened, I was moving my roof pieces around to see if I could get around the issue, and I couldn't. So this is the complete space, at least to the best of my knowledge. There might still be stuff missing at this point. I don't know. And then we'll go over here. This is our primary bedroom. So again, pretty small space, but I think it's pretty good. It's functional. It's for a bedroom. And then you can come across, we actually do have a Jack and Jill bathroom, which is a little weird to do with a kid, I guess, but it's fun nonetheless. We have our like fun little purple, what's that quote? Void critter, I think. But this is our bathroom space. Pretty simple, nothing major. I like the pink though. Pink's pretty fun. And then we have our kids' bedroom, which is super cute. I love this. There's honestly no telling if more stuff is broken or that I'm missing stuff because this was such a like fun little bedroom already to start with. But that's our house, y'all. Like, I love this space so much. It's so cute. Top down view, you can see. I like the layout of it too. It's very symmetrical, which I think is also, sometimes you see that in like Victorian builds. Not always, but I like the way that it looks in here. I also like the bathroom lights in this as well. I know I'm getting really yappy with how I do stuff, but I like having the center one a little bit bigger with these. This gave off some Victorian energy to me. And then for the bottom floor, like I said, just imagine if this was all on the same level. I just think it would be, you know, okay. But I think the fact that it is not makes it super fun, cool looking. I don't know. I love the different levels in this. So I put this on the gallery as Pastel Gothic Home. Let me know if you end up playing in it. It actually, I mean, it uses a pretty good bit of DLC, but you don't have to scroll down that far. It's 129,999 simoleons, so I don't know how I pulled that off. That was like literally perfect. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I want to give a quick shout out to my channel members. I really appreciate you sticking with me through the hard times that I'm going through right now. It means a lot to me. And then if you want to catch my last speed build video, I'll put that over here for you. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. I just feel so good that I finally got this video out to y'all. I can't believe that I did this like 2 months ago. This is crazy.